everyone, so welcome back to the Art of Smudging Part 3, where I talk about a different way that we can actually smudge using charcoal. So a lot of people sometimes have a little difficulty working with charcoal, so I'm going to show you how to actually light the charcoal. So using your match, you're going to go around, and when using charcoal, there's a little bit of patience that's required, right? Because you have to really go around the edges of the charcoal and allow it to spark. And allow it to heat up so that it's actually lighting. And it can take a few seconds or so to really be able to do that. And you're going to kind of work your way around and get it going. So I really like Three Kings charcoal. I feel like it works pretty well, and you can get boxes of them, or you can just get these little small tubes. And so what you do is you allow the charcoal to really heat up and give it like a few seconds or so. And then there are some resins that you can actually do, which are actual resin from a tree that you can use for purification purposes and smudging purposes in your home. So some pretty common ones, and you know, if you grew up in church and things like that, or listening to certain stories growing up, you know, one of the most popular ones is frankincense. So frankincense is a resin here. It's a white resin, creamy colored, and it has almost like a citrusy, piney type of smell. And frankincense is usually used for purification purposes. In some churches, they use it to drive away negativity and evil spirits, exorcisms, things along that line. But it's really helped to purify the space, help ground, and then usually another resin that's used in conjunction with it is myrrh. So myrrh is another type of resin, which is a little bit more amber, a little darker. And myrrh is used in conjunction with frankincense because it helps amplify the purification purposes for the frankincense or any other type of resin that's being used with it. And so as you can see right now, the charcoal is starting to get a little ashy around the edges, and it's really starting to get its color in it, right? We're giving it a few seconds or so to be able to do that. We don't want to place our resin on it right away, because then the resin will just melt and it'll just start smoking a lot, and will actually not smell as nice as we would want it to smell with the actual resin. So once it gets to about this type of consistency or this type of tinge on the charcoal, a little bit goes a long way. And then you're just going to want to place your resin either on or around. I kind of like to just play with it and see what would be best. Putting a piece of my frankincense and myrrh on there. And then it'll start to melt, it'll start to smoke. And that usually is enough, honestly. You really don't need a lot. So resins can last you for a very long time, especially if you're getting them in bulk. And you can use them for purification purposes prior to meditation. And they can just sit in your heat-resistant bowl just like this. And you can use it. And what's really great too, there's other, you can then use herbs too along with it. So if we're using frankincense and myrrh for purification and kind of drawing out negativity and starting to do meditation, we could also use some herbs in here as well. So I really like lavender, so here's some English lavender, or Lavandula angustifolia. So we would just sprinkle a little bit of the lavender on there, which is also used for purification purposes, protection purposes. And that would just be sprinkled right over the top. And as you can see, it's starting to smoke, and it just has a really nice aroma to it. And then if we want to add in some rose petals to just kind of draw in like that love and very sweet smell, we can do that as well. And then maybe some cinnamon, which is one of my favorites for some abundance and prosperity. And we allow that to smoke. Really good tool that you can use to not have to use your fingers, which is a little metal claw that you can use to work your charcoal. So we're going to be mindful not to burn ourselves, right? So there's this little claw here that you could use, just like this little metal claw, so you can move your resins around, especially if it starts smoking too much. Kind of do that with it. And that's it. So that's how we use charcoal, and that's how we use resins, and that'll eventually go out on its own. The charcoal will go out in about 10 minutes or so, 10 to 15 minutes, and you'll be nice and purified. Thank you guys. Stay tuned for some of the next videos that we'll be rolling out soon, and be well, blessed be.